10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We will follow this story as they are identified.
Hello, we are live.
Bingo.
And I can tell you, sorry for looking like a wet dog. It's so damn hot here. I had to shower before. We are breezing with the new system. How's the sound on your end, Chris? Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. How does the sound? Let's see here. How does it sound for all you guys on your end?
Andrew, come on.
Let's see here.
Andrew.
Hey, Shauna. Let's see here. So I put in these cool little features that are supposed to show comments while we're going live, but it doesn't look like it's working so hot tonight. So yeah, I'm not seeing them. So I'm gonna delete them real quick.
Okay.
They're taking up some wonky room, and I just don't care. There we go. We're all good. So we're still breezing. So how is everyone tonight? How are you guys? How are you, Chris?
Excellent.
Cheers for margarita. TGIF. Awesome. We're loud and clear. So I ended up ordering a new computer to make this happen. I still have to send off the old one, and so I'll have two computers, and that will just be my daughter's little gaming computer for her Sims. But this one, I should have just spent the money the first time. You do it right the first time. So I learned my lesson. So, we need to take care of something before we start. Let me clear this off. So today, Chris, do you remember what today is?
Oh yeah. Hey, happy birthday, Tammy.
Happy birthday. Well, hang on. We got a little something special for you. All right, let me go over to that page. There we go. All right. So this goes out to Tammy Dandridge Baker. And here we go.
OneHappyBirthday.com.
Happy birthday. So I know part of it was in Spanish, but you know what? Chris is part Mexican, so just imagine he was singing it to you. But yeah, it was really hard finding the spelling of your name, but we did it. So happy birthday.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, okay, well tonight, not a whole lot of evidence reveal. Not to say that we didn't get anything from Hanover, but we didn't capture a whole lot on our devices.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you want to chat about Hanover? What was the most memorable thing for you, Chris?
I'd say it was probably like hearing some of the side tales, from previous investigations, such as I guess a bride's room.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what they call is the bride's room, and that was the I guess how they actually would hear, like, first it was like a scream, and then another night it was like, I guess they could hear like the gown or something dragging against the ground.
Yeah.
another evening.
It seems like we got a lot of flashlight play. So, and
Yeah.
I even commented about that. I said, and then, but I guess that's what it's kind of like when Transcend goes there. That's kind of like the one thing that they use a lot, so they're familiar with it, and so they know how to answer that. And then of course I come in with the big old SLS. Didn't get anything on my SLS.
No.
No.
But we can, each thing reacts differently, depends on the place.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So we checked out the Hanover Tavern, or the actual tavern itself, and then there was the bride room, right?
Yeah, and then the jail.
Yep, checked out the jail. So there's a lot there. Look, I don't know if any of you guys have researched, or maybe I can pull up their website while we're doing this. There's so much. It's almost nearly impossible to cover it in one night.
Yeah. Well, I'll be right back. I'm going to turn down the TV a little bit more.
Okie dokies. So how's your birthday, Tammy? How's it going so far? Are you having a good one?
They can isolate you and they can marginalize you, but if everybody else in Washington thought it was a good idea when they
Let's see here.
She's probably tying one on.
Do what?
She's probably tying one on.
These things never tell us who all is on with us. Or at least I have not figured that one out yet.
I think who's all watching at the same time, so I basically guess who's ever answering on here.
Yeah, that's okay. If you're here and we haven't said hi to you, we'd love for you to say hi to us so we can say hi back to you. Let's see here. So tonight we're going to talk about Hanover Tavern, which we kind of started into. Ooh, they have Ghost Walk at night. Look, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't know what they were cooking that night, but it smelled damn good.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's why your stomach was growling so much like a demon.
Oh. Yeah, I was still getting it, too, from everybody,
Yeah.
But, as I said to that one person, I said, that's the way we roll, Something funny happens, you never hear the end of it.
Yeah, I will never let you live it down either.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got to take the day off. Oh yeah, Amy's saying it smelled so good.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, you stayed home to be with us.
Nice. Thank you.
So, well, I hope it's really good. Have all of your birthday presents been given to you? Mom's on. Hey, Mom.
Oh, there we go. Tammy!
So I have the website up, but it's not showing pictures. I'm not sure why. So we went and we checked out the theater. Let's see if they have any pictures of the theater. Nope.
Yeah, that's right. The theater, too.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird,
though.
though.
The courthouse. Why?
Yeah, because remember when you heard that door slam, but you didn't really see it?
I never heard it, but I guess those people on that side. Did you hear it?
No, I mean, I was just like, it's just weird. One of those weird things,
All right. Steve, don't be mad at me, but I'm going to talk about something. It's the only thing I've got that, like, blew my lid. Well, not blew my lid, like, in a mean way, but, we were in the theater. We had our recorder, but you didn't start recording until after this moment. And I had my Boo Bear up there. I had a blue puck. There was a bunch of flashlights up there. But Julia was like, "You don't see me up here." She was trying to set stuff. And I remember going, "What you talking about? I see nothing." And there was a recording. I see everything.
Oh, yeah.
They're still trying to figure out where the source of that was. And I hope I didn't give away anything. But that was like super exciting when I heard it.
Well, we aren't off. I mean, we can't, because it's not our recording. We can talk about it maybe a little bit, but we can't really release what we had. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it was clear as day though. I was like I basically wrote back and said, what the fuck? This is what I said.
Yeah. Yeah. I was I was like, holy. I've never heard one that clear before. So
Mm-mm.
if that was not human, I'm going to be blown away.
It sounded human. It sounded female. But
Yeah.
I'm
So
not.
the reason they even came to me is because they were like, Mel, is this you? And I'm like, no, it's not me. And I had Maddie listen to it, and she's like, no, that's not you. And then you listened to it.
And when you,
No, it wasn't me.
it was just unaccounted for voice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's talk about the jail. So we do have some stories from the jail.
Yeah, we can talk about it. We just can't. Well, yeah, I did capture stuff. I
we
just had.
have it on recording,
Yeah,
but it's really hard to hear.
yeah, because we got interrupted by the dudes who were laying out the scientific equipment.
The dude, CPRI.
Yep.
The Commonwealth Paranormal Research.
Central Paranormal Research
No, it's
Institute.
not Central. It's Commonwealth.
Oh, Commonwealth. Okay.
Investigator or Institute? Anyways,
Like
super
Institute.
scientific guy. Yeah, super. A big group of scientific folks, and they had Geiger counters everywhere. They had. Are you scratching yourself?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
looking like Michael J. Fox over there, man.
Give me some milk. I'll make you a milkshake.
Oh my god. They had a recording of something on the SLS. And really, did you feel? All right. Did you feel anything while it was holding your hand? Because I've had that to me a couple times too. So I'm curious to see what. And where was it that was holding your hand? So that's Amy. I'm talking.
Yeah, I see that. Stupid delay.
I know, it's always like, okay, you'll hear me 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
It's alright.
No, in the live session, it's delayed.
Fair enough. Well, I guess while you're answering that, yeah, so we were downstairs and I put a puck inside the jail cell. It felt like wind going through. Yeah, I felt like a little tingle when I was at Fauquier Jail and it was touching mine. We have it on camera. It was Tom Pellegrino's from Parasnoopers. And actually, I believe they're going to be at Scotchtown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the one that was wearing the SLS, and so he had one of the new ones by Dennis. The Xbox One, not the 10, like I always say. The Xbox One, yeah, he had one of the new ones, and so he was sitting there, and he was recording it while I was at the Fauquier Jail, and I was reaching out my hand, and then there was two that were reaching out. So, hey Millie, hey. You were in the room before the post office, so that would be the hall. I guess they call it the hall. Is that the one with the big old table?
Yep.
Yeah. We got a lot of flashlight play in there too, but I didn't get anything on my SLS, so good for you. I'm glad they got something, because I got nothing. And usually I get something. Yep, the room with the long tables. I got nothing on my SLS in there. I was kind of like, Wurm. And then after the post office, I was like, you know what, Chris, let's just go put it up, because this is not going to... It's like every tool... If they want to talk to you through something, they'll talk to you through it. But if they're not going to talk to you through it, might as well just put it up. So we weren't getting anything out of it for the night, so we just put it up. By the way, I have to comment. Your camera on Skype is super freaking clear tonight. I love the new graphics card on this thing. It's awesome.
Oh, nice.
It's like watching HD TV on my computer. It's fabulous. And you felt slight pressure on your finger. Yeah, I never really felt when it happened to me. I never felt the pressure. But Chris, you felt tingles too, right?
Yeah, kind of like getting a cold brush of air. Like making you kind of like get those little, I guess.
Like when your arm falls asleep, kind of.
More like like when you get a good blast of cold air, and your skin like bumps up. That type of thing. Yeah, that's it.
Goosebumps. Okay. Mine always feels like, not so much as when your arm's falling asleep, but like, how like when you're out in the cold for a long time, your hands are kind of cold, and then you come inside, and the warmth.
Oh yeah.
You get that kind of like where things.
Or you run it through warm water after sticking your hands in the snow
Yeah.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how it feels for me. No, I don't feel a temp change. I just feel that sensation. But you did not feel a temperature change. Well, damn, it was hot anyways. So I was waiting for that cool breeze to come. I was like, man, come on, let me have a spirit because I need to cool off. And then, so Chris and I had gone out to the cabin before that to take care of some things that we'll talk about here a little later.
Yep.
But yeah, so we were already showing up half sweating that night. Oh, this is funny watching them go back and forth. Amy's like saying one thing, but Tammy's like, but wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, did you forget? No. Oh boy. Let's see here. So, well, when we were in the jail, so for anybody who's not been there, I'm still trying to pull up pictures on the side here. You walk in, right in front of you is the stairway or to go up, right? And then there's kind of a hallway to the left of that, and then there's rooms off to your left. In the very first room on your left, there's an old iron jail cell and within a big room, right?
This thing converted into like an office.
Yeah. I found a picture of what the. Oh, that's a video. Alright, well, let's see if I can bring this up on picture. So I'm looking to the other screen because that's where.
Well, so one direct about 5 minutes after midnight is the audio recording, if you got that available.
I can.
What? Oh, there's Tom. Hey,
Tom.
There's Tom.
Mm-hmm. What, for the Echo Box?
Yeah, the Echo Box with Steve.
There's a lot of cussing on there.
Do you guys mind if there's a little bit of cussing?
No, they're gonna be like, no, of course not. Alright, well, dang it, I'm trying to bring up this picture. Here, let me just show you guys what I have on screen. Alright, so over here, this is what the jail enclosure looks like within the room. Hey Tom, hey Cynthia, how's it going? So imagine this is kind of like taking up like what, about a quarter of the room? And it's probably, what would you say? 6x4? No, probably 8x4, something like that.
About 8x4, yeah.
Yeah. And then you have it, it's taking up a quarter of the room. So we're in there, and not a whole lot really going on in there. I put my blue puck in there, and then we really did not get a whole lot until we actually went upstairs. So why don't you tell me about upstairs, and I will bring up the audio file. You said it was 12:05?
Yeah, 12:05.
Okay.
5 minutes after midnight.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and tell them? That way I'm not doing swirls.
Okay, so what happened is it's kind of like an SD session, but instead of having the blindfold, you just close your eyes, and basically this application or software you can buy for your phone or for your tablet. It's called Echo Box. It's about $20, but essentially it like scans through the radio frequencies, and basically it slows down just enough so basically whoever's listening with the noise canceling headphones, which usually we use Bose, and basically the person will say out loud whatever comes through the box, but they can't hear us on the outside because basically the noise canceling headphones cancels what questions we're asking.
Do you know what number it was? Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at your GoPro videos. Never mind.
Yeah, it's actually the Sony recorder.
Okay. That'll be fine. Alright, I am going to have it, we'll do it this way. Alright, let's see here. You want me to play the whole thing?
No, you can
How
just
long is
probably
it?
play. You can probably play about 5 minutes. They get a good, or about 2 minutes, I think, until they interrupt us,
Okay.
wondering about the IR lights.
All right. So this is upstairs in a conference room that they use pretty actively in the jail. It's myself, it's Chris, it's Steve Dills from Transcend Paranormal,
And Christian, and another Christian.
Oh, there was. I don't remember his name, but
Yeah, the kid's name was Christian.
Ooh. And so yeah, Steve, like Chris said, was doing Echovox SD's method, and we were asking questions. So it was kind of entertaining. Yeah, you'll see. We find out the name, which he already knew, but it gave us a nickname of that name that it preferred to go by. And it was not very fond of Steve. And coming to find out, not very fond of me. So.
Yep.
All right, the lights are off for me. All right, I'm gonna go for, I guess, 10 more minutes. Just holler at me when it's 12:15. The things in here don't like me, so use that at your beck and call.
Okay,
Can
I'll
you hear
say
it?
you like you.
Who, me or them?
Have fun. Have fun with it.
There was a loud click in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You like Steve?
Fuck you.
Why don't you like Steve?
Ow.
Why? Why did you say that?
Who, me or
I
them?
can hear feedback on you, Chris.
Okay.
Alright, what?
Fuck you.
If you want Steve out of his Why are you saying F you to me? Tap Steve on the shoulder if you want him out of here.
Hello?
Tap him on the shoulder.
Steve. My neck's starting to hurt right here.
Okay. Are you making Steve's neck hurt?
Yes.
Before you move from that position in the jail, I need to come see it for what you're doing.
Mm.
I didn't tell you to hurt Steve. He said to tap him on the shoulder. Please do not hurt Steve. He's actually pretty nice.
Shut the fuck up. My God.
Why?
Hey, baby.
Yum.
Yum what? What would you like to do to Steve?
That was my stomach.
Hi.
Are you hungry?
How? Wind?
Are you hungry?
Hey, tap him here and somebody's coming.
You gotta tap him on the shoulder to let him know somebody's coming. Yeah, I wanna.
Who's coming here to join us?
Okay.
Why don't you like Steve?
Steve.
Steve.
Is Steve a nice guy? So Steve can't hear you, guys?
Hey, Steve.
Steve can't hear you.
You guys turned your hour.
All right, so that's right about when CPRI came into the room. Yeah.
Did you get? Oh, okay.
Did I get what?
Did you get to the part where basically he was talking about having some or tapping him on the shoulder and stuff?
Yeah. So here's the interesting. You know what? I'm gonna pull it off screen for. No, I'm not gonna show that because it doesn't show anything. Here's the interesting thing. So I asked. That part didn't say. All right, the spirit up there. His name is Charles.
And he was hung.
Yeah, and he told us his name was Chuck. And the deal is that he's just a grumpy, very, very, very grumpy spirit. I asked him if he was afraid of dying, which you guys didn't hear that part, and he's like, nope. And I tried asking a couple times what he was there for, He wouldn't tell me what. He just kept saying "f you." It was like his favorite word. Hey, Kelly. Yeah, "f you" was like his favorite word of the night. But he really doesn't like Steve, and so Steve came up there and he's like, "I'll be bait." We're like, "Okay." So I asked Chuck to tap Steve on the shoulder, and he went a little bit above and beyond. What did he do, Chris?
Basically, is like he basically pretty much about choked him in a way, or started hurting, or basically like really putting pressure to his like shoulder. Or I
He
mean,
scratched him.
yeah.
Yeah, he scratched him, and then I mean, we didn't see anything forming up right away, but yeah, he felt scratched pretty bad, and so he was like going, "Oh my gosh." But yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get any. We looked at it with flashlight, we couldn't see anything, and we didn't take any pictures or anything either. And your camera, you were kind of here and there with it.
Yeah.
So, but that was a super cool experience of the night. And then I think, hang on, I have to take a leave. So, for those of you who don't know, all this week I've been dealing with an issue with a tooth that I had I broke it before, and they put a crown on it, but they never did a root canal, and guess what needs to happen now? So,
Nice.
You got him one.
Nice, Tom.
Awesome. Oh yeah, he kept telling us, he was like, "Get up, get out." He kept telling Steve to get up and get out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah. But, all right, hang on one second. I have to take in the leave because it's about that time and things are creeping up on me. Why don't you tell them about yeah. Whatever, Chris. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. After the CPRI guys left, then we continued to ask questions, and the dude was not, or I guess the spirit was basically just not very happy, you know, and basically telling us all sorts of things, get up, get out of here, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when I guess guess they were looking for us, so we got called out, so we went to the old courthouse and moved over there, and pretty much for the rest of that evening, we did get a lot of flashlight play, especially from the judge's bench. And I'm talking about the courthouse now because we moved on, because there weren't really a whole lot of action after, besides to get out, you know, and basically they were looking for us to get back with the rest of the group. So
yeah, but that was probably the most memorable part, at least. I think Amy and Tammy have something to talk about the courthouse. I wasn't there to hear it, but as we were getting ready to walk over to the courthouse, they told me a really cool thing that happened. Let's see, are you guys still on here? Hopefully. This makes 2 locations in a row for me that has happened. I don't know what to think about it. But, let's see if one of them will say it. And there, of course, there's a 10-second delay, so as soon as I say it, I gotta wait a little bit, and then they'll pop in. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
I wasn't even there.
Nope.
I was over in the jail when they heard that. But here's the thing. We went over to the jail, and we were sitting there, and we were getting a lot of flashlight stuff. And Chris's stomach was being a demon.
All night.
All night. But we asked if the spirit that said my name was there to confirm it via flashlight. Sure enough. So it confirmed what you guys told me, Amy and Tammy. It said, "Yep, I'm here. I'm the one that said Melissa's name." So I was kind of like, I wonder if it's going to do it at Scotchtown now. Like, am I becoming, is the Central Virginia Ghost Network becoming familiar with me? I don't know. We need to get them to say your name.
Mine?
Yeah, they'll say Dennis and they'll say Steve. They haven't said George yet.
I think it's because mine's too long and too hard to say.
No, because Christian was pretty common back then.
Ow. Darn it, Ginger.
Show off your dog. Everybody's probably wondering what is. Just put her up. Everybody wants to see the poochies.
If I can grab her, Holt, so you have to bear with me for a sec.
He's a
Come here.
Chihuahua guy.
Come here.
I'm a big dog person. You saw Annie. Well, I have 3 dogs. But the other one. No, 4. I have 4 dogs. I have a big Malamute, a Pug, a Lhasa, and Annie, who is an English setter. But they're all kind of laying down and being lazy right now, except for Annie.
Smart ass dog.
So. Did you get her? Oh, there she is.
She likes to play smart ass.
She's had her camera moment. That's Ginger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Ginger. And she's like, look at your headphones. So, Ginger, what do you think of the paranormal?
She has no clue. All she cares about is the greenies.
Has she been acting weird when you come home? No,
No.
she's still loving on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright. So the reason I asked why if she's been acting weird around him, and here's the reason why we had to stop at the cabin. Hi, Ginger. Does she see me on camera? Is that why she's like, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So he has a Ginger, yep. Was it a nice spirit? Chuck was not a nice spirit.
Mm.
But I guess the one in the courthouse was. It didn't do anything.
It was more civil.
Yeah. I don't know who the spirit was in the courthouse that said my name. But yeah. Other than Chuck, Scratch, and Steve, we didn't have any
Adverse experiences.
Yeah, no. And I think that was just something personal.
Yeah.
Like Chris was going into, or not Chris, Steve was going in to poke the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, alright. The cabin. Why did we go to the cabin? And so, but hang on before you do. We want to stress that when you do what we do, some people think it's all fun and games. Some people, even the skeptics, they're like, whatever, right? But I think I've learned the hard way that no matter how much of a skeptic that you go in, you still need to take precautions. And I think Chris has learned the hard way now too. And I think everybody eventually learns the hard way one way or another. His was a pretty easy lesson compared to what mine was.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay. Now why did we go to the cabin?
Oh,
Get out of the
because
treats there, kiddo.
I kept, I guess, ever since you have toxic things that follow you or attach to you, like toxic emotions, toxic people, and they tend to rub off me and bring toxic things, which makes you a vulnerable target to anything that's within that might be at the location you're going to. This means even if you're like an investigator or just one of those people on the production crew on those big TV shows, everybody's a participant. And basically it's like, if you don't go in there and properly protect yourself, something will get you, or something will seek you out. You know, it's like you're like I guess as our spiritual advisor Dennis put it, he said, imagine you're in like a big old football stadium and it's dark and you strike a match and the place is crowded. Who are those people going to go to? Those people are being like spirits, ghosts, yada, yada, yada. They're going to be attracted to you. And basically, because you're the brightest light on that field, like moths to a flame. So in order to properly protect yourself, you need to put up like a kind of a barrier in order to, like, just enough, just so you can kind of peer through. Kind of like Iron Man with a suit, or Battle Rattle, or as Dennis put it, imagine put yourself in a pink bunny suit, you know, and just zip yourself up, but just have enough of your face exposed so you can kind of see, but it also kind of dims the light a bit.
Yeah, but you thought I was all hokey pokey telling you about this stuff until you actually experienced it, didn't you?
Yep. So yeah, changed my personality and everything else. And we're sort of spiritual advisor. Thanks to him, while we went to 360, was basically to do a grounding and also a blessing ceremony in order to kind of, because it wasn't like fully attached as like, I guess, what do you say, a paranormal STD. It was there, but you couldn't get rid of it, you know. So
I want to take a pause out for a second. Tom posted, I have more and more friends and relatives passing. So I want to get as much experience trying to understand those who have passed and if we can communicate. If I may, from my experience, I don't want to say 100% belief, but I do. I don't believe that everything I encounter is a spirit, but I can tell you that I have validation. So my dad, Mom, I'm sorry for bringing this up. She's gonna cry. In 2 days will be the 2-year anniversary of my dad's passing. So, my dad has come to visit. He has come to me in my dreams, and they're not just dreams. They're actual communications, and I know that because there are places that we've never ever visited when we were alive. There are places that are so here's one place. My dad and we met up in my dream, and there's this lake in Ruston, and it's kind of like an amphitheater, and it has concrete stairs that go into the lake, or at least that's what it was in my dream, and I think this was the lake that it matched up to. But my dad and I had never been there together. What is she growling at?
Probably a reflection.
Oh.
She sees herself.
And there was aspects to that dream that also did not fit into that area. But I can tell you, my dad looked fabulous. He wasn't in his healthiest state. I mean, like, he didn't appear to be in his 20s, probably because I wouldn't recognize him. But back when he was mobile, because my dad had a double knee replacement, and so when he passed away, he was not too mobile. But my dad used to say, "Get up and boogie," and he had like this little shuffle to him. And so before he had his knee replacement, he wasn't too heavy, and he was still, the get up and go kind of guy. And that's how he appeared to me in my dream. And I knew he was good. And then I've had a visit from my brother. He's come up and he had all my dogs who had previously passed away with him. And it was kind of interesting how the dream transpired. But I remember I went to go give him a big old... He went to go pick me up. Alright, so my brother, before he passed, and he's my older brother, but he passed 11 years ago, coming in December. Right before my daughter was born, about a month. It's okay, Tom, it's okay. It happens, right? But when my brother passed, he passed away from a massive cardiac situation in Fauquier Hospital parking lot, outside the emergency, or outside the doors. We're still mad at that damn hospital. And the security and all of them, they're roving patrols. They didn't see. He was hunched over in the front seat of the truck, and it was a lady that had gone into the hospital. She noticed him going in, and then when she came out later, she noticed he was still there, and that's the person who rang the alarm bells. By then, it was too late to do anything for my brother. But my brother was a type 1 diabetic. I was getting on his ass to take care of himself, kind of like my dad before he passed. And, we were butting heads big time because I was riding his chaps about it. But, yeah, Mom, we'll get through it. And my brother, like I said, he was type 1 diabetic, and he had a pancreas and kidney transplant because he was going into kidney failure. My dad, too, was also in kidney failure when he passed. And so... when you have a transplant, you have to take that medication to where you don't have organ rejection, right? And because of that, he ended up with a bone infection, so he was going to go get antibiotic transfusions or something, and that's what happened. So, go back to the dream that I had with my brother. I actually saw him. It was kind of like in a garage parking lot, like the Mary Washington parking lot, but he never came to Mary Washington. And he came up, gave me a big old bear hug, and lifted me up. And I yelled at him. I was like, "Careful, you're gonna hurt yourself." He's like, I'm good." So, and Tom, when we were at the jail, and there was that young lady there, she validated my dad was there with me. She'd never met me before that night, never seen what my dad looked like, and she told me that there was a male presence with me that whole night, and she described him physically to me, and I said, well, let me pull up a picture, and then she's like, yep, that's him. She validated that my dad, and a couple of things that are very unique to his character. And then when we came home that morning, my mom and his dog, Bitsy, now this dog annoys me. She's a miniature schnauzer, but she's like a mini. She's super tiny, super yappy.
Yep.
And she will yap at anything. And when I walked in through that door, she was on me like white on rice. She was like, and that's how she was with my dad. She never left my dad's side. And so even my mom commented that it was kind of weird. You know, she's like, huh. She's like, and I was like, well, that's just because dad was hanging out with me. So I must have his essence or, you know, something on me. So, that's my personal experience. But for me, why I'm doing this is because, I have these experiences and I want to understand more of how, like you, I want to understand more how we communicate and also my own abilities. And so I've repressed them for so long, and then I finally got to the point where I couldn't ignore them anymore. And so now I'm learning how to manage those too. And so kind of like what Chris was talking about, you go through toxic you have just toxic, it doesn't even have to be toxic. Everybody that you're around has some sort of influence on you.
Yep.
Right?
Hey, Sue.
And, you know, some are good, some are not so good. And some of them have things that they can pass on to you. And that's what happened to Chris. Yeah, he had, it wasn't latched onto him or anything. It was just kind of scoping him out, going, hey, who's this fresh meat? And I kind of caught on to it, and I was like, hey, we need to do something about this before it becomes serious. And so he doesn't listen to me ever. I'm like, hey, Chris, you gotta go do this. Oh, okay. But as soon as I bring in Dennis, oh yeah. Now he starts listening.
Well, it really brought it to heart when he explained the certain, details, but, I'm not going to go into those because that was kind of like, okay.
Yeah. There were very specific details about how and who influenced us. And so we had to take care of it.
Yep.
I can talk about my experience. Mine was a little bit more wacky than yours. Mine was a full-on hitchhiker from St. Albans. This is how I learned the hard way. So I believe that, again, no matter how skeptic you are, you should still CYOA. When you're leaving somewhere, don't forget to tell them they cannot come home with you. Don't forget to clear yourself of that energy. Make sure that, and I got a little confident when I was down there at Albans, because I was like, how do you know? Oh, I'll get you know. Or at least I knew. I don't know what was with me, but I can tell you it was a crazy week in my life. And I guess it really all depends. Everybody's different. It also depends if you're sensitive to these kinds of things. I am, and that was one of my learning curves, again, kind of figuring out how certain energies affect me. because we've had this talk too, where we feel like, remember when we were talking about, living energy is stronger than energy of those who have passed on?
Yep.
Or at least that's how I feel, and I absolutely agree with that. I've gone so long as a person who's sensitive to other people's energies. I can walk in a room happy as can be, and if y'all are in a foul mood, you're gonna fuck my shit up. I will be foul in a heartbeat. And so I've gone so long trying to block that out, like, no offense, but my sister, woo, it's I feel some intense anxiety from when I'm around her. I have spent so long trying to shield myself from other people's influences of their energy that I've become numb to feeling the spirit, so to speak. So I've relied a lot on technology to help me, and I'm just now kind of sorting out how to find that nice happy balance. So yeah, when I was at St. Albans, I'm not going back there anytime soon, just to be honest. Not until I get a better grip on myself. Alright, so I quit smoking in 2013. I was craving nicotine on my drive back. That should have been my first clue, right?
Yep.
I was like, I didn't smoke a cigarette, but I got one of those e-cigarettes with nicotine in it, and that should have been my first clue right there. But I screwed up big time. I went in there after having a couple arguments. I was a little bit vulnerable. I didn't shield myself properly, and I sure as hell didn't clear myself when I left, because when I was there I was like, oh, nothing. Oh, my dog's underneath the desk. Nothing attached to me. I'm good. I saw
Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie. I saw 3 people get jumped and have a totally negative not totally negative. 3 people
Getting attacked.
Yeah, and they had to clear themselves. And I'm sitting there going, doo-doo-doo, I'm good. I'm good to go. I went back to the hotel, slept it off for a couple hours before I drove home, and I was confident that I was good. I was not good. I had something that took an interest and decided I want to go home with you. And let me just tell you, that whole week I was major insomniac. I maybe got 2 hours of sleep each night. My whole entire body felt like a jolt of energy was going through it. So if you can imagine a beehive, and like if you ever get near a beehive, you can just kind of sense the humming, the vibration, the collective sense of the beehive. That if my body could be something, it was like a beehive that entire week. And so I just had to go through the steps. I had to smudge, I had to clear myself. I don't know what you're getting into, but stop. And then, to really kick it out for good measure, I deleted all my evidence, because I kind of felt like that was giving it a doorway. And sure enough, on the 5th day, I deleted my last bit of evidence. Could it have been something in my head? Sure. But it did the trick for me. So that was my experience, and I know better now. Yeah, because I was like, oh, I've been to Sugar Shack at West Virginia Penitentiary. That place is, I stood up to them there. Don't ever get too cocky or confident. And don't forget. That was my biggest mistake. I was getting too confident. So, and Chris was just ignoring it. He didn't. He's like, I am the researcher. I am the scientific researcher.
Yep, that's me. And then, of course, our spiritual advisor pointed out a few things to me, and that kind of like brought me around.
The stuff I've been telling him for months.
Yeah. So, went up and got some of these.
Yeah. So, Chris is
Roman Catholic.
Yeah, and I am spiritual. Like a medley of a whole bunch of stuff. I subscribe to some Eastern, some pagan, some just
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah. I was raised Baptist, but I don't subscribe to that theology. But I am familiar with quite a bit. So hey Tony, how are you? But yeah, so not a whole lot of evidence tonight, but I hope you guys take away from here that if you're new in this, if you are not new in this, those are some lessons that we've learned, and occasionally we all need a little reminder. Don't forget to cover your bases. So, but speaking of covering our bases, we have something coming up tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a good time. Looking forward to seeing everybody again. Have a good old time.
Okay. You act like everybody knows where we're going.
Oh, okay. Well, I was waiting for you to spit it out.
I've talked this whole damn night.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to Patrick Henry Scotchtown, which is a little bit north of Richmond. It's in between here and there, but it's gonna be awesome because me and Transcend's putting it on, and it's for a good cause too. You know, everything's a good cause, but definitely towards the restoration of historical sites. You know, especially to teach the future, our future.
Yeah. So
alive.
up on the screen, I've brought up it's Preservation Virginia. So all the proceeds from this event that Transcend's putting on will go to Preservation Virginia, I think. Julie, correct me if I'm wrong. Julie's from Transcend, and she actually she was our guide for the night when we were at Hanover, and you did a fabulous job. Thank you. And hopefully we see you tomorrow. I wish I had your energy too, so you gotta let me know what you're doing. Oh, and I know this is a scroll moment, but congratulations to the girls on Color Guard for raising the money. I did that back in the day. I was rifles. So.
Yep, rifle too.
You did rifles?
I was ROTC.
Yeah, but it's got, okay.
I tossed guns around. They were like freaking 18.6 pounds.
Dude, what do you think they do? Come on. They
Well, you
toss
fill
them
it with
Color Guard
lead.
too. What?
You fill them things with lead, you know, because they're real 22s.
Hang on a second. Hey, Maddie. Can you let Miss Diva outside, please? Okay. She was talking to me going, I need to go potty, Mommy. Alright, so here's Scotchtown. Can you let her out, please? And let's see.
Hey, Len.
Hey, Len, how are you? We're talking about, speaking of Len is with RVA, and they are, what? Sure. They are co-hosting this with Transcend. So, we are looking forward to having a good time and seeing you tomorrow. Her and John are with RVA and their daughter Kristen. So, give them a great shout out, RVA Paranormal. Definitely check out their page. I was trying to show them Hanover's, but it's not really working out so hot. So, but you want to tell them a little history about this, Chris? Because Chris is more the historian. I kind of like to go in. I know some background. It's hard not to go in knowing no background on places, but I like to go in with minimal so that way I can validate things later. But I'm going to hear it because I just asked Chris to tell it. So.
Yeah, let's see. Let me because I really had a lot of time this week because I've been like ridiculous. It's mandatory course season, as I put it.
Here we go.
Let's see what we got here.
Boom. There it is.
Okay. Well, you got it.
I have the flyer up.
Okay.
Okay. So Patrick Henry there. That was. I don't know if he lived there full time or not. The only thing that resonates with me is that his wife was locked up in, I want to say, the basement, because back then you had if you had postpartum, then they kind of treated you like you were crazy and they didn't know what to do. And so her husband, instead of sending her off to, the jail or the hospital or whatever, which would have almost been a death sentence for her, he locked her in the basement. And so I guess there's reports of hearing a lady scream. That will be interesting to see if we get that. I've been looking forward to this place for a while, ever since I heard Lynn's story. I don't want to get scratched, but I heard Lynn got scratched. So I'm like, this place is no joke. so I want to check it out. So I've been
Don't
looking forward to
look
going
around.
here and first overnight paranormal lockdown ever at this place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we are some lucky cats to go. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow, and it starts off at 5:30, and it goes until 7 o'clock in the morning. And so they broke it up. I don't know if it's too late to buy tickets, but last I heard there was still some for the overnight. So if you're local to our area, hop on it, see if they do. This is definitely a good opportunity. I don't know when it's going to happen again. And when it came out, I was like, Chris, we got to jump on it. So, Lynn says, screaming in. Nothing major burned more than, yeah. I don't think I would ever ask to be scratched. It's just not something I'm seeking out. I would love to hear whispers in my ear, or I've had my hair played with. Oh, there's still tickets available. So hey, if you guys are watching and you're local, get on it, because I'll tell you what, this is definitely gonna be a good one. I just feel it. So.
Oh yeah.
But it's gonna be hot as Hades.
Mm-hmm. So bring you plenty of water, and also for those that are not going, make sure you're drinking lots of water.
Yeah. Well, what I was getting ready to say is that there's two groups. I think the first group, and yeah, we're definitely showing up, and we're gonna investigate the grounds too. So, Lynn, I'm bringing lots of water, just in case. I'm bringing a cooler.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
Yeah, absolutely, because hydrate. I have fallen out once before because I didn't drink enough water. Learned my lesson the hard way there too.
Yep.
But they have, I think it's from like 7 till 10. They're doing the non-overnight, so it's like the first half, and then after that we kick into. I mean, we do the 7 to 10 part too, but then the overnight part, where it's a little bit smaller group, and so I'm really looking forward to it. And so we'll have to tell you all about that next week and see what we've got. So,
definitely.
yeah. Well, let's see here. We're coming up on the hour here. Is there anything you want to throw out there, Chris?
Well, I just want you all to stay safe. Of course, as a military member, you can always measure hydration, how hydrated you are, by the color of your spring. So the darker it is, you better drink more water.
You're bringing a John is not bringing. Oh, he's not bringing a kiddie pool. We can bring one. I can arrange for. I can bring a slip and slide.
Oh my God. Too many mosquitoes, man.
I'm joking. I'm sure we'll have fun. It's always a good group. It's always a good group, and I enjoy my time every time. Yeah, Chris was bringing that up because when we were at Dunlora, Lynn, I don't know if you heard this, but when we were at Dunlora, he was wearing my body cam. Thing's broken now, so he's lucky.
Oh, here we go.
He forgot to turn it off when we went to the bathroom, and I'm thankful I didn't see, because I was reviewing. I was like, "Oh, we're in the bathroom." I didn't see anything, thank God, because we're not like that. We're like brother and sister. But I told Chris the next day, I'm like, you should really hydrate better.
Hey, Tom.
Have a good night, Tom. Yeah, I was like, you really should just hydrate better, Chris. And he's like, oh no. So I think he's learned his lesson now, I think.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Hilarious.
Let's see here. So we still got our fundraiser up for, let me bring that picture up.
For Minority Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes, sir. So, no, I don't have it on here.
Oh.
Here we go. Boom. Can you see that? All right. Minority Mental Health. So we have a link up on our Facebook page. It goes directly to them. We don't touch it because it brings you to their donation portal on Facebook. So if you're feeling so inclined, we'd love for you to help donate to Better for Minority Mental Health. And let's see, what do we have coming up on the horizon? What do we have next?
We got the exchange coming up in August.
Yes, we do. Yes. And I might con you into going to somewhere else in August too.
Okay.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
All right.
And then after that, let's see here. Yes, you did. Thank you, Tammy.
Yep, there's Amy's back.
We have the Fleetwood Paracon. So again, if you guys are local, and we rolled all of these in the beginning because sometimes they go a little too fast. We have this coming up that we're going to go, and again, hosted by Transcend, and you'll see Dennis Eslog, Lyle Lott from Twisted Paranormal, Jake Fife, Richard Deardoff, The Doc, Donald Molnar, and Alan Marston. So it's going to be a great time. You're going to have lectures and go out to a couple of various locations out there, and then I'm flying Chris. I'm not, well, yeah, I talked him into going to Malvern Manor.
Yeah.
Malvern Manor is in Malvern, Iowa. So this will be, I don't know, my third or fourth trip. I go there every year. And so we will get to investigate with these folks. So I'm really looking forward to that.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun.
I'm looking forward to actually having good steak again.
Yes.
Good meat.
Yes.
Meat. Steak. Midwest.
Yeah, oh my god. And it's a tiny little town too, but it's a fun little town. And we'll get to see Josh. And I'll introduce you to him. And hopefully Cynthia and Rolly will get to go. We're flying actually, not driving. Thankfully I had miles, so that works out really good. Hello, crazy dog.
Hey, John.
Hey, we're just getting ready to wrap up. Hey, Maddie, please quiet her down though. Come here, crazy. You probably see her doing zoomies behind me. So, and then I feel like I'm forgetting something, Chris. The cabin. Oh. You don't want me talking about it?
Want to, you can.
I can't keep secrets.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's going to be small. Chris and I have dived in, and we are doing a private investigation of the cabin. And so we've been sitting on that one for almost a month, though. You're lucky I haven't said shit about it yet.
Well, of course, they do have that public event coming up on the 25th of July.
They have a couple of yeah, that's the one for the rescue group, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's also the public investigation on the 25th. Yeah.
Yeah. Come here, Annie. Come here. Oh, she's.
Dog.
She's panting now. She's zoomed herself out. So, in September we are revisiting the cabin. Oh, Chris has got his pup on his lap. See, I'm not a Chihuahua person. I'm surprised my cat hasn't jumped up here. But so we've got a pretty. I was gonna go to Gettysburg next weekend, but then I decided not to because it's a bit much for me. Oh, speaking of the cat, here she comes. I've got a lot going on this month. Let's see. We had Hanover last weekend, Scotchtown this weekend. If I'd gone to Gettysburg next weekend, I would have had a cruise the following weekend. I would have just had zip downtime, and I would have exhausted myself. So.
And then I'll be out of pocket on the 1st of August through the 6th.
Yeah. Not for good reasons, though. Unfortunately, Chris will be going home for his father's wake.
Celebration is like my mom called it.
Gotcha.
Celebration of life.
Celebration of life. I know. Yeah, I was looking forward to it, but then I just had to bring myself back to reality. I was like, yeah, I'm over. Chris, there.
Oh, but yeah, Velcro cat.
Yeah. So she is the one that was one of my first indicators when I got home from Albans. She was, you know how cats when they're chasing bugs around? She was bouncing off the walls, literally. She was jumping on when I had the hitchhiker from Albans. And she was jumping like 4 or 5 feet up in the air trying to catch something. So, She is a very, very, very good spirit detector. Very good. But anyways, yeah, I think I've got a lot to do tonight. I've got to charge up a lot of equipment and do a lot of gear check. And so I don't think we have a whole lot left to talk about. Just getting ready for tomorrow.
Except see you tomorrow with whoever's coming out, and be going over certain things next weekend, and we might go live, beforehand.
Yeah, we'll have to play that one by ear. So
Yeah.
may
Yeah,
or
I'll
may not
send you a
drop a
link.
lot. I'm pretty sure that if you follow Transcend Paranormal or RVA Paranormal, you will more than likely catch a go live from someone.
Definitely, yeah.
There will be somebody going live from there tomorrow, without a doubt. But if that's all, Chris, then we'll catch you all next week. And thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll have some really good evidence to show off next week. Ew.
All right, well, stay safe, everybody, and stay hydrated, and have a good evening, and have a good weekend.
Your dog is licking your nose.
I know.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone. Definitely hydrate. All over the nation, everybody's having a hot time. So we will talk to you next week. So thank you again for joining us.
See ya.